honestly made a name for myself as the YEAT guy on the internet, and that's because I've pretty much made probably 50% of YEAT's catalog, and at this point I could confidently say I have the most accurate YEAT recreation. Now I've probably done 20 plus videos on YEAT, and this video is basically just going to be a compilation of everything. I'm going to break down every single YEAT effect that you have heard from Up To Me to ADL. So we're going to go over pretty much every song that I've recreated, and I'm going to show you exactly how I got and achieved that sound. We're going to go over his ad-libs and figure out how he makes those insane sounds. I mean, we're going to be covering everything YEAT's ever done. Before we jump into the video, if you want to support me as a creator, just head down to the link in the description. I have this preset bundle called the Ultimate YEAT Bundle, which includes every single YEAT preset I've ever made. So if you want that and you want to follow along with the video, go ahead and grab that. Also, if you want to skip through this video, just use the chapters down below. It'll tell you like each song that I'm doing. Alright, so the first song we're going to start up with is from Up To Me. It's called Can't Change. One of my favorite YEAT songs of all time. So I actually don't have the vocals for this, but I have the preset. So I'm just remake it on the spot and then break it down for you guys. So let's do this real quick.
Alright, so here is the preset. Let's see if we can do this for a take. Yeah. Okay. I can't change what I see, what I did. Hold on. I feel like I'm running circles around this bitch. When I wake up, I speak calling my phone, just like one of my bitches. One eye open, when I sleep alone, can't trust nobody else. All that said, I can't trust nobody else. All that said, I can't trust nobody else. Alright, and then the key to this is doing 2 takes. So we're gonna go to the other preset
right here, and we're just gonna record on this. And this is kind of like an ad-lib one, so let's get it.
Okay, I can't change what I see, what I did. Hold on, I feel like I'm running circles around this bitch. When I wake up,
and then I think right here he goes like high.
Circles around this bitch. When I wake up, circles around this bitch. When I wake up, I speak calling my phone, just like one of my bitches. One eye open, when I sleep alone, can't trust nobody else. How that said, I can't trust nobody else. How that said.
Alright, so let's quickly break this preset down. So this is one of my original YEAT presets. This is the first one. And what I did here is on this main preset right here, all we have is a fruity stereo shaper and then the main chain. And I'm bringing this to 0.2 milliseconds to the left. In the top left of your FL Studio, you can see that right there. And that's pretty much all. You just use a normal preset here, some normal EQ and stuff. And then we got a Valhalla vintage verb. As you can see, this is when I wasn't even using buses. So we just have the Valhalla vintage verb directly onto the chain. And then I duplicated the preset over and we added an H delay in ping pong mode and a Valhalla vintage verb. And then instead of using that stereo spreader, we're using a fruity chorus at 100%. And that's literally how you do that entire song. So on to the next. All right, next up we got Double, and yet again you can see it didn't save the actual vocals, so we're gonna remake this one on the spot again. See if we can do it.
Big body GLE ski on wet body. My diamonds real pissy, they patty. I'm finna pull up in Benz, no Audi. No, we don't know buddy. 20 bad bitches, they all in the lobby.
All right, there is the main part. Obviously I'm doing this in one take, so we're not gonna get it perfect.
Ski on wet body. My diamonds real pissy, they patty. I'm finna pull up in no Audi. No, we don't know buddy.
All right, there we go. We'll just stick with that for now. All right, so let's take a listen to this. Now, like I said, obviously I'm doing this in one take, so you're just getting a basic idea for how this is. If you really want to perfect this, you're going to go through and record it until it sounds perfect. But let's see how this sounds, and then we're going to break it down after.
Big body GLE ski on wet body. My diamonds real pissy, they patty. I'm finna pull up in Benz, no Audi. No, we don't know buddy. 20 bad bitches, they all in the lobby.
All right, so let's get into this main vocal. It is pretty much as similar as it can get to my other chains. A few adjustments here and there. Our main compressor is the ARC Comp and the CLA 76. Obviously, you guys are probably going to want to know how to do the ad-lib effect here. So this is YEAT's kind of like OG ad-lib effect, and all we're doing is routing this ad-lib over to this reverb, and we have a super simple reverb here, just Valhalla vintage verb, and we're also routing it to the 1/4 delay here. So nothing too crazy with the reverb and delay, but if you don't know how to do that high pitch effect, basically all you're going to do is route it to a new bus. I'm routing it to this high pitch bus right here, and you can see that by this little knob down at the bottom. And you could use like any pitch shifting tool. I'm personally using Auto-Tune Pro, and I'm just using this transpose knob, building it up 12 semitones, and that's how you get this like you turn that off. So yeah, that's the difference right there. And that is a double preset. Let's move on to the next.
I came with the blick, I just bought that 5. I can't fuck with none of these lanes, they a fucking lie. Bitch, you know this getting insane, you can fucking die. I just put up in that Bentley, he got frog eye. Yeah, I'm a fire guy. Walk inside the building with the grease, I'm serving fire guy. You ain't got
right, that was fun. Got a little carried away there. But let's break the preset down. So this is the same one as before. I think we just adjusted some settings. As you can see, I'm actually using one of my mixing templates here. So this lead A is going into this vocal chain. Now this is a way more comprehensive mix here, so I'm not going to go too into detail on this because we are routing vocals every which way possible. But let me just kind of show you guys what's going on here. So the lead vocal is getting routed to a reverb A, a reverb B, a delay 1/4, and extra effects, which is just the auto-tune transposed up 12 semitones. We actually have that on the lead vocal. Now for our ad-lib track, we're routing it over to reverb A and B, which the difference between reverb A and B is just going to be the decay time. So we got a 4-second on reverb A and then a 1-second decay time on reverb B. Now on the ad-lib track, we are pushing the 1/4 delay a bunch here, and then we have that high pitch over here as well. And then I believe we're doing the same thing here for reverb A. And then a super important plugin that I'm using here by Waves is called the Infected Mushroom Pusher, which I'm running this through a mix bus, which I believe, no. So the mix bus is just the vocals. So all the vocals, including the delays, the reverbs, everything is getting routed into this mix bus and then pushed into the Infected Mushroom Pusher. Now I can't really remember exactly what this plugin does, but I believe it's a little bit of compression, some saturation, and some stereo effect. So it makes it a little bit wider. But on to the next, let's get it. Next up, we got Flawless, and I'm going to break this down real quick, so I also don't have the vocals, so we're going to do it live again. This one's going to be a little bit more hard, so bear with me here, because doing this in one take, it just doesn't sound as good as it can.
You don't exist. Take a perk in the tongue of this head. Money swollen like sis. They don't put faith in the kid. Got the belly moose in my hand. Got a bit by the pill. I know raw was a spin. On the one got $1 million and double that shit. Then I triple it again. Flawless.
Alright, so that one is definitely a lot harder to do, especially in one take. But let's see if we can do like the ad-lib part too, because he does like this vocal stack on Flawless where he does a really low take.
Then I triple it again. Flawless. 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 Flawless, 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 yeah. Flawless, 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 yeah.
All right, that again part sucks. Let's see if I can fix it.
I triple it again, then I triple it again, then I triple it again.
I forgot the ad-libs, so we'll just do the ad-libs real quick.
You don't exist. Take a perk in the tongue of this head. Money swollen like sis. They don't put faith in the kid. Got the belly moose in my hand. Got a bit by the pill. I know raw was a spin. On the one got $1 million and double that shit. Then I triple it again. Flawless, 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 yeah.
All right, so let's break that down real quick. So this preset is also in the bundle, but we got the main vocal right here, and then we are routing it over to this high-pitched bus, but the bus is actually detuning it by 12 semitones. Now for our ad-lib tracks here, see for that first main ad-lib, we're just routing it to a long reverb and then a 1/4 delay. Honestly, these presets are pretty simple once you get the hang of it. And then we're also just routing that ad-lib track to that low pitch bus as well, which is, you know, that YEAT demon effect. But that's Flawless, so let's move on to the next. All right, now we are on to Afterlife, and we're going to do No More Talk. This one I got down pretty damn accurate. This preset is also in the bundle, but let's just do this real quick. Might as well do it live again. See if we can get this.
Round with my demons, I can't tell you nothing, babe. Round with my demons and my dear little twist. Money make them do something, put them in a trance. Whole lot of mud inside this motherfucking building. Whole lot of motherfucking money in this building. How my demon caught me in it.
I don't even remember this song. All right, so we'll break this one down pretty quick because at this point we're getting a little repetitive because I think this is the same preset as before. Yeah, I don't think I've changed this preset yet. So that's the main preset right there, and we're just routing it into a 1/4 delay, a long reverb, and then a parallel compression bus and the high pitch bus. And then on this high pitch, we actually are pushing it out in the stereo field with the stereo shaper and a chorus, which is pretty interesting. Now, I know you guys are going to want to know how to do these ad-libs, so let's take a listen to these. So let's go into this ad-lib track. So we're using a Fruity Flangus for our stereo effect in this, and then we're routing this over to the long reverb. You can see we got a lot going here. A short reverb, a 1/4 delay, which we're really pushing into, the parallel compression, and then that high pitch. We have this almost all the way up, and that's what gives you that really cool effect. So it's like... But yeah, that's No More Talk, so let's move on to the next. All right, so now we're getting into some 2093. This is, I think, peak YEAT, in my opinion. This is one of my favorites. I think this song right here is one of my most accurate presets, Psycho CEO. So let's mute the vocals and do it live again.
Yeah, my diamonds jump. Yeah, my diamonds talk. Yeah, my money long. Yeah, my money talk. Heard as tall as guy. Heard you trying to come right with us. We don't know who you are. Let's get disrespectful. Let's get disrespectful. You better have some respect when you talking back. I'ma cut you off. Cut you off. You talking to me. Cut you out my life.
All right, yeah. So I don't know, man. I think that's like, come on, that's got to be one of my best remakes yet. But let's get into this. So this is obviously when the preset changed a bit here. So I think I just dialed in the compression a lot better. I pretty much got the EQ and everything to sit exactly where YEAT has his stuff sitting. And you can see it got a lot more simplified. So we just have a vocal, ad-lib, reverb, delay, and the YEAT voice, which is, you know, just the up 12 here. So let's see what we're doing. We're pushing the main vocal into the reverb, which on our reverb, we got a Valhalla Vintage Verb with these settings. On the delay, we got an H delay. And this is when I started throwing on the fruity chorus on our delay and then a stereo imager as well. And this just makes your delay sound super unique. And we're pushing it into that delay a lot as well. Now for the ad lib here, we're using a fruity flangus and then a stereo shaper to get it really wide into the stereo field there. And then we're just pushing a bunch of reverb and a bunch of delay and a bunch of that YEAT voice. And you get that. That's how you do that. On to the next. All right, so now we're moving on to Lifestyle, and we're going to cover Fly Troop here. So we're going to mute the vocals, and I'm going to show you it again. Now, this is where the YEAT preset got even more dialed in, and we're going to cover that like crazy ad-lib effect that he does, where it's like, you know what I'm talking about. Turn the preset on. Oh, you guys are going to hear the intro here, but I'm going to start right here.
I'm a fly soldier, I'm a fly troop. I'm on King High, I'm on King Boom. We on X2. Come from next to. Come outside, yeah, with a gun, and we get your shoe. Pop outside, send a parachute.
All right, so let's dive into this preset real quick. So here is the main vocal right here. As you can see, it changed again. We started using a limiter here, which kind of really smashes that vocal. Got a reverb, delay, high pitch, and a low pitch bus now. And as you can see, we're sending that main vocal into every single one of those. Our ad-lib track, the only difference from the main vocal is the fact that it has a fruity chorus. And then we're just pushing it into the delay a lot more, the high pitch and the low pitch just a little bit. So you get this effect. And we also have this delay. So this is how you do this effect over here, which I didn't get perfect, but you know, it's good enough.
Come from next to, come outside.
So the way you do this is actually pretty simple. So we just have this vocal right here, where if I solo this out, which is just like a little stutter thing right there, but it's going into this delay throw, which is just the normal vocal chain with the chorus, and then we're routing it into the reverb, and then this delay right here, which is a 1/8 delay with the feedback automated. So you just have that automation play the feedback really high and then just cut out. That's how you get that effect.
Come from next to, come outside.
And that is Fly Troop. So let's get on to the next. All right, if you're still here, you're in for a treat because this is my most accurate preset by far, which is weird because this didn't get that much traction. But we're now on to A Dangerous Summer, and we're going to do Put It On God. So get ready for this because this one's so damn accurate. I'm going to mute the vocals and try and do it live again, so let's see what we can do. Also, this preset's in the bundle. Every single one of these is. I don't know why I keep saying that. But, all right, let's get it. Come on.
Hold up, bitch. Hold up, bitch. Yeah, walk around city, I keep me a blade. Hold up, bitch. Walk around city, step on a beat and I lean in the shit. Hold up, bitch. Hold up, look at us wrong and we empty the clear. Hold up, bitch. All of my dog, my twizzy, my squizzy might kill you. Hold up, bitch. Walk around that bitch and I know that this bitch out there looking familiar. Hold up, bitch. Put a little bitch in this guy and they call me Amelia. Swerving the day in a $300,000 car, I never could feel you.
All right, so this is a newer preset again. But yeah, so this is what changed. This is what the main looks like. We're pushing this into reverb, reverb 2, delay, and high pitch. And then this infected mushroom pusher, another interesting choice here. The delay here. And then for the ad-libs, it's just the same one duplicated over, and we just have a chorus on it, and then we're just pushing it into that high pitch a bunch, as long as the reverb and delay. And then we have a duplicated over ad lib, which we're doing like the 2 here. So let's take a listen to these.
Hold up, bitch. Hold up, bitch. Yeah, walk around city, I keep me a blig. Hold up, bitch. Walk around city,
Then let's take a listen with everything off. So this is with it dry.
Hold up, bitch. Hold up, bitch. Yeah, huh? Walk around city, I keep me a blig. Hold up, bitch.
All right, so that is the ADS preset. Now let's move on to the final preset, the ADL. All right, if you're still here, we got the last one going, which is going to be ADL, and we're going to do Griddle. I think that's probably the most like complex song on the album. Also, if you're still here, you use the code SAVE20. It'll give you 20% off of any preset. Also, check out the new website. I just recoded a whole brand new website. Check out the website and let me know what you think of it. But let's get into this. So this one, I'm not going to be able to do live because, I mean, just look at this. There's like so many different pieces to it. To puzzle it together is like damn near impossible. So we're just going to take a listen to it real quick, and then we'll break it down.
I'm in love with the bitch, she a freak. Geek. Show. I'm in love with the bitch, she a freak. Geek. Oh, I'm in love with the bitch, she a freak. Geek. Show. New moon saying all the bitch out the roof. Bad bitch in the city gon' eat up my ball like that fruit. I'm in the club, man, throw up in the section, the bitch out the juice. I'm about to geek out my mind, little bitch. I snore me a line of that juice.
All right, so let's break this down. This is the new preset. This is, I mean, I went crazy with this new one. I also have the ADL preset, which if you guys want that one, if you don't feel like getting the whole bundle, you could get the ADL preset, which this preset I've been literally using on like every project that I make, like any song that I've been making for now. But I mean, look at this. So we got the intro to verse, and then we have a special reverb and delay that's specifically set up to duck every time one of these main vocals is playing. So basically the way this works is it's a limiter that anytime the main vocal plays, it tells the reverb not to play, so it makes the vocal sound really clean. But after the vocal stops playing, the reverb kicks back in, so you still get that really good sounding reverb effect, but it doesn't create any mud while the vocal's actually like performing, if that makes sense. And then we have all of the reverb, delays, and effects over here for our ad-lib tracks. So let's just go into some of these and take a listen. So this is the intro sound. So for our delay, basically what I'm doing here is a dual delay, and we have a 1/4 and a 1/8, then just a reverb, and then what else are we doing on that intro? And then just a room reverb, which is just a really short reverb that I'm using here. Oh, this is also just on the intro track right here.
I'm in love with the bitch, she a freak. Geek. Show. I'm in love with the bitch, she a freak. Geek. Oh.
And then for this part, basically it's just, let's see, the verse vocal here is like no reverb or delay. Basically it's just super dry and right down the middle. It's just super simple, but it's super saturated. I've been using this plugin called Vitamin, which is a multi-band saturator, and we're just bringing in some high saturation, high mids, and some mid saturation.
New moon saying all the bitch out the room. Bad bitch in the city gon' eat up my ball like that fruit.
And then the last thing we have is just this ad lib right here.
Bitch out the room. Bitch out the room.
So that sounds really cool.
Bitch out the room.
So yeah, that is every song that YEAT has ever made. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. This was a little bit hard to make, so make sure you guys hit a like button for me and drop a comment. Please let me know what you guys actually want to see from me next. It's hard coming up with videos, and it always helps when you guys tell me what you want to see. Make sure you check the link in the description if you want to support me at all. It really means the world to me. Thank you guys so much for making this a real career for me. But yeah, that's all I got for now. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Doses. Peace out. See you.